Hey traders, David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. You're here for another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis. Today is Wednesday, March 20, 2024. We are looking at a daily chart of the SPY or Spider, which is the proxy for the S&P 500. What do we have on the docket today? We have a new set of new highs on the Kabuki Theater Fed or post-Fed, post-Jerry's presser jam session. We talked about it in the live room today. The implied move for the S&P today was between $5 and $6. She moved about $6, $5.50, whatever it was. So that worked out today, getting up to a high today of officially 520.62 on not great volume, but nonetheless, that doesn't have anything to do with whether or not she can move price. She moved price. Welcome to the spring equinox. Next question is, hey, on this move, how high can the spiders go? Can they jam them up into the end of the week? Will they jam them up tomorrow and turn them around a little bit, pull the rug out a little bit, have a shakeout operation? Where's that next spot above current price? Call it 522.15, 522.25, in that neighborhood, all the way up to 522.25. That's the next big time spot for the spiders. It's mathematics, it's formula driven, it's all we have at new highs, but it is formula driven and the numbers do work. The next real big-time event from a what's up in the sky tinfoil hat scenario is around April 8th. You're also, from a monthly chart perspective, will be getting into an on-time situation in April. So that's the next interesting thing from a big picture. Where's the market going to make a more significant top/turn? That's the next thing we really have our eye on. Could it happen before then? Of course, but that's the next big thing on the board that we have and we're looking forward to. At the end of the day, the S&P was up almost 1% today. That's a nice, healthy up day. 50 handles in the ES, something in that neighborhood. 4.77 in dollars and cents on the SPY. Decent up day. She's in an uptrend. The trend is your friend. All time frames, new highs. You have to wait for a sign and or signal of a trend change. If you're in the bear camp looking for a sleigh ride down, you have to wait. Otherwise, you'll continue to get pies in the face. The trend is your friend until proven otherwise, meaning until it ends. Been doing this a long time, seen this type of thing many times. Many pies in the face get issued on the way up until the end. You don't know where the end is. Let's talk about live room stuff for a few moments. Gave AMD to the live room. 176.10 to 174.35 was a zone of support. We had it on the board for days. We were waiting for the number. They hit the number today, took off like a bat out of hell. Nice trade. We had a small trade in USO today. The first number was 77.05. I said we're looking for 77.40 to 50. They gave us 77.41. Small trade, but USO, oil, crude oil, nonetheless, little bit of a trade. Live room material in real time. About Moderna. Great participation in the live room today in Moderna. Real-time trade, $100.35. That's the spot, quote unquote. Came into it, traders loaded up, took a rocket ride, got paid handsomely. Moderna. Live room trade real time. Little tiny short trade for some traders in the live room today. It's over here at 516.30. Little bit of a base hit, resistance. Once they got over it, that was Kabuki Theater time and they were off to the races. Wasn't necessarily for me, but we did have some participation for a base hit in the live room in real time. That was also provided for inside the numbers. While we're talking about stocks, we'll cover stocks on the move. We'll go a little out of order tonight. We've got JKS, Jinko Solar, 23.85 down to 22.81. They never got to the second number. Back above the first, provided the base hit and then some. significantly more than the minimum required base hit, the numbers work. How about NASDAQ today? Great participation in the live room. This was right off stocks on the move list. 59.71 posted before the opening bell. What happened? Immediate turnaround, rocket ride back in the other direction. High over here was around 61.50. Nice trade. The numbers work. We've got something for everybody, even on a Fed FOMC, waiting on the Fed type of situation. After all, before the Fed, the spiders S&P was in a very narrow range, quiet, chop shop formation. Of course, they were waiting on the Fed. Here are the notes, starting at 0 dark 30. It's all in here. Pause the video, read the notes, go back to the chart, and double check the work. 5/16/30 was in here long before the market opened for business. The rest of it doesn't matter, as you got to throw out the charts around the Fed Kabuki Theater situation. Now, here's an area that I was looking to buy this morning. If they drop them a little bit, again, this is before the market's open at 9:15. If they drop them a little in an early morning shakeout, 5:15 down to 5:14.50 is a zone of support for a bounce back in the other direction. Here's a 5-minute chart. Right of the vertical is today's activity. And right in here inside this circle, you can see, even in the afternoon, this was right before the Fed announcement. The low was 5:15.08. That was my buy price, but I wanted it early in the morning. Look what happened after that. They took off again like a bat out of hell. Since it was a narrow ranging, very slow morning, there wasn't a lot of morning activity other than the short I showed you and the 5:15 we were looking for. Pause the video, read the notes, go back to the chart, double check the work. This was typical for a Fed FOMC Kabuki Theater type day. What's going on over in Camp IWM? Well, they came down to run a test in the neighborhood, we could say within a stone's throw of the weekly chart breakup candle low we keep talking about. That was yesterday. Okay, so that low was 199.15. This breakup candle, you could see yesterday's low. What was it? 199.66. They get out of there today. Since that low, she's up pretty good, over about $5, almost $6. Above this high, what's the next target? Well, we have it. It's 216. That's what I have my eye on. She's got to get above, work her way through this particular high at 210.41. That'll open the door for 216. Camp IWM, my favorite market leading indicator, up almost 2% today, leading to the upside. What about the folks down at the transportation department? My second favorite market leading indicator, up 1.8% today. Came in to run a test of the convergence of those moving averages yesterday, right back above the other two, which is the 50 and the 20 period moving average. Above all the moving averages, guess what the trend is? That's right, she's your friend. And above all the moving averages, she's in an uptrend. Remember what we had here on the weekly chart. We kept looking at this almost every night. This is a bullish, consolidated-ish, trading in a bullish formation in a box, building energy for another move higher above all the moving averages. The trend is your friend, and this is bullish for another move higher. First to work on these highs up here at 16,003, give or take. And then if they can get above that, they start to work on this pivot high area up here. Ish. Q's, no change. She's in an uptrend, all-time highs. Nothing to talk about except the fact that she's in an uptrend around all-time highs. Nothing bearish on this chart. She's bullish, remains bullish until she shows us otherwise. Financials blowing through everything. We'll take this number off the board. She's got to close above this high to make the next leg higher. This high is 41.70, which in XLF land is all-time highs. Let's reel back the clock and we'll show you all-time high right here, January of 22, and you can validate that by going all the way back and saying, yep, that's the all-time high in XLF. She's a stone's throw away. Sometimes they come up short, other times they spike them through, but there will be a bull-bear battle at the all-time high, maybe slightly above, maybe slightly below, but it's customary for them not to just waltz right on through like it wasn't even there. How about this one from yesterday, Smash Mouth? 213.35, we had that number on the board. We had the exact number. They did the thing where they pull back to run a test of the most recent breakout area and bounce off of it very crisply, bullish. And that's despite all the news. The news doesn't matter. We all know that. If you've been around here for any length of time with me, you know that the news is a joke, gets plugged in after the fact. Whatever the news was in the semis, whatever negative news was out there for the SMH, it doesn't matter. They did the technical thing that they do the large majority of the time. All charts act and react the same way, and this is how we make our day trades, our swing trades. This is our analysis, our long-term position holds. It doesn't matter. All charts act and react the same way, which means what happens in a short term happens on a intermediate term chart and happens on a long-term chart. They just take different time frames, different amounts of time to work out. Your expectations are different depending on the time frame. These are learning experiences. This is a learning opportunity with the SMH. We watched this thing all the way down. We identified the number days and days in advance. They hit the number yesterday. Live room members took a trade. Some of you took a trade. That was the number. They bounced off of it. Nice trade. Where are they now? Just under 2.25. They're up over $10 since that low was made yesterday. How you doing? Remember this one? This is Tesla. We nailed Tesla. I think that was the number, 164.65. It's bullish. She's working her way higher. First target coming. Plenty of traders made oodles of money in Tesla, whether they bought the options, whether they bought the stock. We were looking at it for days and days and days in the live room. It was on the swing trade list. Everybody got an alert. Nice trade in Tesla. Right when the analysts were downgrading it last week, we were scooping it up. Funny how that works. Have I told you how much I appreciate each and every one of you? Without you, these videos are not possible. That is true and accurate information. We're pulling the ripcord here today. I'm David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis.